50 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. shared a dream of freedom, powered by the idea that we humans cannot walk alone. And as reporter Julianne Horsley shows us, a group of students honored Dr. King Jr. by simply walking together.
We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream 50 years ago that we would all walk together united as equals. And that dream continued as the BYU community came together for the Walk of Life. This commemoration brought people from all walks of life, like Bethany Cherry. Bethany is just like any BYU student who enjoys many of the freedoms we have today, like getting an education. But this day was particularly special for her because for Bethany's predecessors, it wasn't too long ago when those freedoms were only available to a select few.
My dad told me that he was actually at the March on Washington. My dad was a teenager back then. He's in his 60s now, but it was crazy to think that time's not so long ago, and it just tells me that we still have to keep moving forward, and it's not over. You know, the dream that Martin Luther King has or had, it's not over yet, and because we're living that dream, we have to keep moving forward and keep progressing.
To keep Dr. King's vision moving forward and burning bright, a candle procession began at the bell tower to the Wilkinson Student Center to honor his legacy and sacrifice.
Everyone in the Walk of Life was given one of these candles to light the way in memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. These candles not only brought light and warmth, but also a reminder of Dr. King's contribution of bringing light into a dark world.
Literally and symbolically, it's like he had a candle, and that was his vision and his dream, and the things that he stood for and the things that he fought for, and I love to see everybody lighting their candles because it just was symbolic of sharing that light and remembering that vision and keeping that vision alive and keeping it burning.
But the walk for Dr. King didn't stop there. The commemoration continued in the Wilkinson Student Center with keynote speaker Kathy Stokes.
I was deeply moved, and that there are this many people commemorating the legacy of Martin Luther King in Provo, Utah.
I really enjoyed how she focused on being a disciple of Christ and following the great commandments of loving God and loving our fellow man, and connecting that to Dr. King's ministry, his life's work, and then helping and reminding each of us that we're part of that.
Martin Luther King Jr., he lived those principles. You know, he loved God, and he lived his whole life trying to love those around him. Even when he was hated, he tried to love back and tried to teach us to also to love out those around us.
Harry Como once said, "It is better to light just one little candle than to stumble in the dark." And for BYU students, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. continues to be that light, and we must continue walking forward. Julianne Horsley, BYU Weekly.